eaters. So today I'm gonna talk about intuitive eating and how you can start practicing intuitive eating. And one of the process I did in my recovery when learning about intuitive eating was simply practicing trial and error process. Yeah, because I believe that you fully never learn or know how to eat intuitively unless you do it yourself. And for sure, you can read books about it, you can read others people experiences, you can listen to how other people did it, what helped them. But at the end of the day, it's all about your body and what works for you. What are your body's signals, cues, what makes sense to you, what seems logical, and yeah, simply what works specifically for you. Because intuitive eating is not another diet where you have a set of rules and you have to follow the rules or otherwise it doesn't work. But it's very individual, it's very flexible, and this is the I believe the only process to learn intuitive eating is truly going through a process of trial and error. And also trial and error. So what I mean about this process, even scientists use the trial and error process in their experiments when they want to discover something new or when they want to invent something. For example, like Edison used trial and error process to invent a light bulb. Of course, it wasn't the only method he used, but still, he invented light bulb in 100 times in one specific way. And then he discovered this way actually doesn't work after trying it 500 times. And then he would do something else. And he actually was happy about it, that he discovered a way that inventing a light bulb doesn't work. He didn't start to blame himself, he didn't start to bash or shame himself, but actually he was very curious about it and very open-minded. And this is very important. I want you to understand as well that by trial and error, the error doesn't mean that you have failed or you can't be intuitive eater. The error is simply a learning process, and if you learn from something, you can never fail. And also the trial and error process is actually a process where you, as a scientist of your own body, you gather this new information about how your body reacts, or what are your hunger signals, what are your body cues, and you gather all of this information about your body. And the more you do it by going through this trial and error process, being very open-minded, actually the more you learn about your body. So I really hope you understand what I mean. And also intuitive eating, going through the trial and error process, it's not that by this process we will achieve the perfect intuitive eating, and unless I achieve this perfect hunger cues all the time, eat when hungry, stop when full, never feel I have overate just a little bit, or I perfectly all the time eat exactly what I crave. This is not the goal of intuitive eating. Actually, intuitive eating is very flexible and it's not perfect at all. And I would say this is one of the goals actually, intuitive eating, by being this unperfect eater, but at the same time this is part of normal eating, and not freaking out about it, not feeling guilty after you feel over full after a meal. Yeah, so I want to make sure that the process of trial and error, the end goal is not some perfect eating, but actually it's just normal eating. And normal eating is not perfect. And very, very important thing about this process is that if you go to some errors, or you found out it doesn't work, I feel I'm doing something wrong, don't beat yourself up about it. You are learning to a child, to walk. You are a little child learning to walk again. After having eating disorder maybe for years, like you are learning this process of normal eating again. So would you beat up a child who is learning to walk? No, you would be very encouraging, very compassionate. Maybe you will like help them, maybe you would just dedicate some time for them. So the same thing is with practicing intuitive eating. Like, don't beat yourself up when you find that, oh, like something doesn't work, or you have reached the dead end and you don't know what to do. Like, instead, be very encouraging and compassionate, and give yourself the love and kindness towards this process, because shame and blame doesn't motivate anybody. It just makes us ourselves like feel more miserable. So be very compassionate throughout this process, because I think the mindset you have going through the trial and error process is super important as well, to be positive and encouraging. So this is what I wanted to say, and I really hope it helped you to start practicing your intuitive eating and listening to your body, and getting back in tune to your body, and like learn what works for you. And if something doesn't work, then just like give it up and do something different. It's important to try something for a longer period to know that if it works, but at the same time listen to your intuition and listen to your common sense. And if something doesn't work, then find a different way to do it. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. And I also want to say, if you want to know more about intuitive eating, then actually in my book, where I explain everything about recovery and how I recovered from eating disorders, there's like very practical tips and everything I learned to help me recover from my bulimia and orthorexia. And also the last chapter in my book is entirely about intuitive eating. So if you're interested, get my book. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and please comment, please like, and please share this video, and also subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.